Wrecker, the great alien mercenary, moved with slow, heavy steps across the silent moon surface. His armor was scratched from many battles, and his eyes glowed a dim orange behind a thick helmet. Everyone in the galaxy knew his name. Children in far planets whispered it at night. Criminals ran when they heard it. Entire armies surrendered when he arrived. But today, even Wrecker felt a strange, tight feeling in his chest. This mission was not like the others. This mission was dangerous even for him. Wrecker's target lay ahead, the old wreck of a Starforger ship. Half of it was buried in gray rocks, the other half sticking out like the broken ribcage of a giant beast. The wreck gave off a soft blue glow, almost like it was alive. And somewhere inside that dead ship was the treasure everyone talked about, the legendary Starforger seed. People said this treasure was so powerful it could change the fate of whole star systems. Kings wanted it. Warlords wanted it. Empires would kill millions just to study it for 1 hour. That was why someone had hired Wrecker. They needed the seed found fast. They needed it brought back in one piece. And they needed someone strong enough to survive any trouble. Wrecker thought this job would be simple. Walk in, take the treasure, walk out. He had done this 1,000 times with other relics. But as he approached the ship, he saw something strange, fresh human footprints leading toward the wreck. That was not good. Humans were curious, but they were weak, soft, easy to break. They should not be anywhere near something so dangerous. If a human touched the treasure, it could kill them. Or worse, it could bond with them. Wrecker tightened his grip on his plasma blade and stepped inside the ship. The air inside was heavy and cold. Metal beams cracked under his weight as he moved through the dark hallways. Every sound echoed as if the ship was breathing around him. Tiny sparks flew from broken wires. Faded symbols glowed on the wall, symbols older than most civilizations in the galaxy. But when Wrecker reached the treasure chamber, he froze. The chamber was empty. The pedestal where the seed should have been was shattered. The protective energy shell was gone. Something had torn it apart from the inside. Wrecker checked the dust patterns, the broken stone, the strange burn marks. They all pointed to one fact. The treasure was no longer here. Wrecker cursed under his breath. He was too late. Someone had taken it or something. As he scanned the room again, a soft metal sound came from behind him. Wrecker turned fast, his blade glowing bright, and saw him a human. A young human man, maybe in his mid-20s, wearing a dirty engineer uniform, holding a small toolkit in shaking hands. His brown hair was messy, his face pale with fear, and his eyes wide like a trapped animal. The human gasped and dropped the tools when he saw the giant alien. Wrecker didn't move. He only watched. Humans did not belong here. Humans did not have the skill to break Starforger energy shields. Humans should not even know this wreck existed. Something was wrong. Wait, please. The human stammered. I didn't take anything, I swear. Wrecker did not reply. He simply activated his helmet scanner. A bright line of blue light swept over the human from head to toe. And that was when everything changed. The scanner beeped, loudly, urgently. Wrecker frowned. That sound meant one thing. The treasure's energy signature had been detected. But the seed was not in the room. It was not on the ship. It was not anywhere close. No, it was close. Too close. Wrecker scanned again. The same result. The treasure's energy signature was coming from the human. More specifically, from the human's lower body. Wrecker stared in shock. The human stared in confusion. And the scanner beeped again, as if shouting that the impossible was true. The legendary Starforger seed had bonded with this man. It was inside him, the treasure the galaxy wanted. The treasure worth more than whole planets. Was between the human's legs. The human took one small step backward. Why are you looking at me like that? He whispered. Wrecker slowly lowered his blade. Everything had just become far more complicated, and far more dangerous. Milo had never felt so scared in his life. One moment he was checking strange readings from the wreck, and the next moment a huge alien warrior was staring at him like a hungry predator. Milo didn't understand what he did wrong. He was just an engineer, hired to repair mining machines on the moon. He wasn't a thief. He wasn't brave. And he definitely wasn't ready to face a monster with glowing eyes. Racker, the alien mercenary, did not move at first. He watched Milo with a cold, unreadable expression. His armor hummed softly, reacting to his raised heartbeat. The giant alien could crush Milo with one hand, yet he did nothing. Instead, he scanned Milo again, as if trying to understand something impossible. Milo swallowed hard. Should I run? He asked weakly. Racker's deep voice finally rumbled out, slow and heavy, like distant thunder. Human, you carry something that does not belong to your kind. Milo blinked fast. What? No, I don't. I'm not carrying anything except my tools. Check again. Racker had already checked, and the truth was clear. The treasure, the Starforger seed, had somehow fused with Milo's body. The energy signature was strong, pulsing like a second heartbeat. Racker could not believe it, yet the machine never lied. Whether you know it or not, Racker said, the artifact is inside you. Milo stared at him with open confusion. Inside me? You mean, like I swallowed it? I didn't swallow anything. Racker growled softly. If you swallowed it, human, you would be dead. This seed has bonded with you. That word bonded made Milo's stomach twist. I didn't ask for anything to bond with me. Racker stepped closer. Milo quickly stepped back until his back hit a wall of broken metal. His breath came fast, and his hands trembled. He tried to appear brave, but his voice broke when he spoke again. Look, whatever you think I have, I don't. If it's worth money, you can have it. If it's a mistake, I'll fix it. I swear, I didn't steal anything. Racker looked down at him, studying the fragile, confused human. Milo's fear was real. His panic was real. And more importantly, Racker sensed no deception. The man truly knew nothing. That made things far more complicated. If Milo had stolen the treasure, Racker could simply take it back. But the seed inside. Milo meant any harm to the human could trigger a reaction powerful enough to vaporize half the moon. The Starforger seed was a living force, older than most stars. It protected its host in strange ways. If Milo died, the seed might unleash its full power. Racker had to keep the human alive. Before he could explain this, his helmet alarm blared. A sharp, fast signal. Incoming ships. Racker tapped the side of his helmet, pulling up a visual display only he could see. 3 ships entering orbit. Large ones, armed. Their markings were clear and dangerous. The Yulth Dominion. Racker's jaw tightened. The Yulth were cruel conquerors. They wanted the seed for their own dark plans. If they detected the energy signature inside Milo, they would hunt him without mercy. Milo noticed Racker's sudden silence. What? What happened? Why are you looking at the sky like that? Oh no, something's wrong, isn't it? Racker grabbed Milo's wrist suddenly. The human yelped. We must leave, Racker said. Why? What's happening? You are being hunted. Milo blinked twice. Why me? The seed inside you, Racker said, pulling him toward the exit. The Yulth Dominion is coming. They will torture you, cut you open, tear your world apart to reach the seed. Milo's legs nearly gave out. No. This can't be real. I'm just a repair engineer. I don't want to be hunted by space empires. Racker practically dragged him along. You have no choice now, the alien said. You carry power that could destroy planets. Milo almost tripped over a loose beam. I don't want to destroy planets. That is why you must stay alive, Racker answered. They reached the outside of the wreck. Dust rose around their boots as they ran across the rocky surface. Above them, dark shapes of Yulth landing ships broke through the clouds like metal vultures. Milo's voice cracked. Where are we going? Racker didn't slow down. To safety. And to answers, you know nothing human. But soon, you will learn why the treasure chose you, Milo gasped. It chose me? Why would it choose me? Racker didn't answer, even he didn't know. But the entire galaxy was now moving. And everything depended on a confused human who carried the treasure between his legs. Dust clouds exploded under Racker's heavy boots as he dragged Milo across the rocky ground of the moon. Above them, the sky was no longer empty. 3 Yulth Dominion ships broke through the clouds, flying low like hungry predators searching for prey. Milo kept glancing back at the ships, his voice high and full of fear. They're looking for us. Racker, they're looking right at us. They do not see us yet, Racker said, tightening his grip on Milo's arm. But they will soon. Move. Milo stumbled again. His legs were shaking, but Racker's strength kept him from falling. The moon's wind blew sharp dust across their faces, but Racker did not slow down. He had survived many hunts, many chases, many wars, but this was different. This time, the target he needed to protect was a fragile human who barely understood how to hold a blaster. Behind them, the first Yulth ship deployed small hunter drones. The tiny machines spread out like a swarm of insects, their red scanner lights sweeping the ground. Milo nearly screamed. They have robots. Why do they have robots? They are search units, Racker said calmly. They can smell energy signatures. Smell? Milo gasped. Robots can smell. They can smell you, Racker growled. Because you carry the seed. That made Milo almost collapse. I didn't ask for it. Please tell the universe I didn't ask for it. Racker ignored his panic. He pulled out a small device from his armor and slammed it into the ground. It released a thick wave of static energy, bending the air around them like heat haze. What is that? Milo asked, panting. A signature jammer. It will confuse the drones for a short time. Racker grabbed Milo again. We must reach the tunnels. Move now. They ran toward the edge of a rocky cliff where a metal hatch lay half buried under stone. Racker kicked it open and pushed Milo inside first. Milo slid down a steep metal ramp, landing with a thud on the dusty floor below. Racker dropped in after him and sealed the hatch. Darkness swallowed them for a moment until Racker activated a dim blue light on his armor. Milo sat on the ground, chest heaving. Are we safe? Please tell me we're safe. No one is ever safe from the Yulth, Racker said, scanning the tunnel. But this gives us time. The underground passage stretched endless and cold. Thick pipes ran along the walls, humming with faint energy. Old mining tunnels. Abandoned years ago. Milo stood on shaky legs. Where are we going now? Racker turned his head slightly. To someone who can explain the truth. The truth about the treasure thing inside me. Milo whispered. Yes, Racker replied. And why so many want it? Milo rubbed his arms nervously. I'm no hero. I fix machines. I unclog vents. Sometimes I even break things on accident. I can't be part of Galactic. Treasure trouble. Racker let out a deep breath, almost like a sigh. The seed chose you. I do not know why. But it is inside you, and that means the galaxy will chase you until the end of your life. Milo covered his face with his hands. This is the worst day ever. Racker did not disagree. As they walked deeper into the tunnel, the ground began to tremble. Dust fell from the ceiling. Milo's voice echoed nervously. What was that? Racker stopped. His senses sharpened. Drones. They are cutting through the rock. What? Milo squeaked. They can do that too. They will break through in minutes, Racker said. We must move faster. They ran again, their footsteps echoing like thunder in the cold metal tunnel. Racker pushed aside debris, ripped open rusted doors, and cleared paths with brute strength. Milo followed close behind, panting loudly. The tunnel widened into an old operations room, filled with broken screens and fallen beams. Racker stepped ahead, scanning the area. Then, without warning, the ceiling burst. A Yelf drone crashed through the rock, landing with sharp spider-like legs spread wide. Its red eye locked onto Milo instantly. Milo froze. "Oh no, down!" Racker roared. He pushed Milo aside and slashed the drone with his plasma blade, cutting it in half. Sparks exploded everywhere, but more noises came from above. More drones. Many more. Milo looked at Racker, terrified. "They found us!" Racker grabbed Milo and shoved him behind a broken generator. "I will hold them off. You move when I tell you." What if they catch me?" "They won't," Racker growled. "Not while I breathe." The ceiling cracked again. The chase was far from over, and deep inside Milo's body, the ancient seed pulsed like a heart waking up. The tunnel shook again as more drone claws scraped through stone. Racker did not stop moving until he reached an old service elevator at the far end of the chamber. He shoved Milo inside and slammed a lever down. The elevator groaned as it dropped deep underground with a loud metal roar. Milo gripped the railing tightly. His heart thumped so hard he could feel it in his throat. "Racker, they're breaking through. They're going to come down after us." "They will try," Racker said, his voice calm but tense. "But down there, they will move slower." "That gives us time. Down where?" Milo asked. Racker finally looked at him. "To the old research vault. Someone waits for us there." Milo frowned. "Someone? Who?" "Kalara," Racker said. "Scientist, scholar. She knows the ancient relics better than anyone alive." Milo felt a small, strange relief. If anyone could explain why an alien treasure fused with his body, maybe this Kalara person could. But the thought also scared him. What if she said something worse? The elevator came to a stop with a harsh clang. When the doors creaked open, a cold air drifted out. Miles of stone walls stretched around them, carved with strange blue lines glowing like veins. Milo felt tiny in the silent darkness. Racker motioned him forward. "Do not stray from the path." They walked through the long passage until a circular door came into view. Racker pressed his hand to a scanner. Blue light washed over his palm. A soft voice came from behind the heavy metal door. "Racker, you are late." The door slid open, revealing a tall alien woman with smooth silver skin and glowing teal eyes. Her long robes shimmered like stardust, and her presence felt calm and wise. Kalara. She stepped closer, eyes immediately scanning Milo from head to toe. "This is the host?" Milo lifted a hand awkwardly. Hi. Please don't poke me." Kalara did not smile. Her expression was serious, almost worried. "Bring him inside. We have little time." Inside the vault, old machines hummed quietly. Glowing tubes lined the walls, filled with swirling light. Ancient symbols floated above consoles like holograms. Milo stared at everything in awe and fear. Kalara stopped in front of a round examination platform. "Human, stand here." Milo hesitated. "Will this hurt?" "Not if you stay still." "That doesn't help." Milo squeaked, but he stepped onto the platform anyway. Kalara raised her hand. Blue energy formed a circle in the air, spinning around Milo. It felt warm, like sunlight touching his skin. Then, something strange happened. The seed inside him reacted. A pulse of light spread from Milo's lower body, glowing through his clothes. Milo yelped in shock. "What was that?" Kalara's eyes widened. "It is active. Very active." Racker stepped nearer. "Tell us what it means." Kalara lowered her hand, the scanning ring fading away. She took a slow breath before speaking. "The treasure you call the Star Forger seed is not an object. It is a living energy core. It chooses a host when threatened. It bonds with the closest living being to protect itself. Milo blinked. So, it didn't pick me because I'm special? Kalara shook her head. It picked you because you were standing too close. Milo groaned loudly. Great, perfect, I'm treasure by accident. Racker crossed his arms. Why did the seed leave its chamber? Kalara moved to a console, pulling up images of the wreck. The ship crashed centuries ago. Its containment failed. Over time, the seed grew restless. It likely awakened when humans began mining near the wreck. Milo raised a hand like a confused student. So it jumped into me because I touched a glowing panel? Kalara turned to him. Did you touch anything unusual? Milo nodded slowly. There was a strange metal box. It hummed. I thought it was a power cell. I poked it. Racker stared at him. You poked it. I poke things. Milo cried. That's my job. I fix machines. Kalara sighed, but her voice softened. Human, you must understand what lives inside you is ancient, powerful, and dangerous. The lights in the vault flickered. Racker reached for his blade. Drones? Kalara checked a screen. No, something else. The seed's energy is rising. It is responding to the hunters above. Milo shook his head quickly. No. Make it stop, please. Kalara touched his arm gently. The seed feels fear. It mirrors your emotions. Then it must be terrified. Milo said, because I am. The ground trembled again. Dust drifted from the ceiling. The Yulth were getting closer. Kalara turned to Racker. You must get him to the Starforge gate. Only there can the seed be separated. Racker nodded. Then we go now. Milo's eyes widened. The what gate? Separated? From Ami? Kalara met his gaze. If we do not remove it, the Yulth will take you. And they will use that power to burn worlds. Milo swallowed hard. He finally understood. He wasn't just carrying treasure. He was carrying a weapon, and the whole galaxy wanted it. The ground shook harder now, as if the entire moon was warning them that time had run out. Kalara pressed her hand to the vault door, sealing it behind them. You must hurry, she said, her voice firm but worried. The Yulth forces are breaking through the upper levels. Milo stood close to Racker, eyes wide, breathing fast. Can't we hide? Just a little? No, Kalara said. If they scan this level, they will sense the seed inside you. You must reach the surface and escape before they lock down the moon. Racker placed a huge hand on Milo's shoulder. Stay behind me. Do not run unless I say. Milo nodded quickly. He would have agreed to anything at that point. They moved through a long tunnel leading to an old lift platform. The lift shook and rattled, groaning like it hadn't been used in years. When the doors opened, cold wind blasted in, carrying sand and red dust. Milo coughed. Where are we? Kalara pointed toward the horizon. The Badlands. A dead zone. The Yulth scanners work poorly there. If you cross it, you can reach the old starport ruins. Racker activated his wrist display, checking the map. We will take the ridge path. Kalara stepped back. I will hold the drones as long as I can. Go. Milo watched her raise her hands and summon a wave of blue energy as the tunnels behind them shook from Yulth drills. She looked like a glowing shield of light, he whispered. She's brave. She has always been, Racker replied, pulling Milo along. When they stepped outside fully, Milo saw the landscape. Huge cliffs, twisted rocks, and storms of sand spinning in every direction. The sky above the moon was filled with fast-moving gray clouds and flashes of electric light. Racker walked straight toward a half-buried metal shape, sticking out of the ground like a fossil. Milo squinted. Is that a broken car? A hover bike, Racker corrected. And not broken. He slammed his fist on the side. The machine lit up instantly, hovering above the ground with a soft humming sound. It was long, heavy, and fitted with metal plates and strange alien markings. Milo blinked. "You can just punch things to start them?" "It is efficient," Racker said, climbing onto the front seat. He jerked his chin toward the back. "Get on." Milo hesitated. "Is this safe?" "No." "Great," Milo muttered, climbing on anyway. The moment he sat down, Racker boosted the engine. The hoverbike shot forward with terrifying speed. Milo yelled and grabbed Racker's armor so tightly his fingers hurt. The Badlands rushed past them in a storm of red sand. Rocks the size of houses jutted from the ground. Lightning cracked across the sky. Milo shouted, "We're going too fast." Racker didn't answer. He only leaned forward, steering sharply around a giant boulder as a bolt of lightning struck where they had been a second earlier. Then a high-pitched hum echoed through the air. Milo twisted around. Racker? There are robots behind us." 3 Yulf drones flew low, their red eyes glowing like angry fire. One fired a laser that scorched the ground beside them. Racker growled, "Hold tight." He turned sharply around a cliff wall. The hoverbike skidded, sparks flying, but it stayed steady. The drones fired again. Milo covered his head. "We're going to die. I don't even have a will." "Stop talking," Racker ordered. Pulling a metal handle from the side of the bike, it extended into a long plasma-covered spear. Milo's jaw dropped. "You have weapons on your motorcycle?" Racker stood up slightly on the bike, something Milo thought only madmen could do, and swung the spear at the nearest drone. It sliced the machine in half. The pieces exploded behind them. The blast shook the hoverbike. Milo yelped, almost falling off. "Sit still," Racker said. "You stood up." Milo shouted. Another drone approached, firing a stream of red energy. Racker steered the bike between 2 tall rock pillars. The drone tried to follow but slammed into the stone, exploding in a flash of red light. Only one drone remained. It raced toward them from above, charging a large energy shot. Milo felt something again, something deep inside him. A strange warmth. A pulse. Like a second heartbeat. His hand moved without thinking. He grabbed the small emergency blaster attached to the side of the hoverbike. "What are you doing?" Racker barked, "I don't know." Milo shouted. He turned, aimed at the drone, and fired. The shot flew straight, hitting the drone's weak point. The machine exploded in a bright burst of sparks. Milo stared at the blaster in shock. I hit it. First try. I never hit anything on purpose." Racker looked at him through the corner of his eye. "The seed inside you is enhancing your reflexes." Milo swallowed hard. "So I'm changing?" "Yes," Racker said. "And it will only increase." They raced across the last hill. Below them, through the sandstorm, Milo saw the outline of an old starport, broken towers, half-collapsed hangars, and landing pads covered in dust. But he also saw something else. Several Yulf troop ships landing around the ruins. Milo's voice shook. "Racker! They're already here." Racker tightened his grip on the controls. "Then we fight through," he said. The hoverbike roared down the red slope, kicking up a long trail of dust behind it. Milo held onto Racker's armor so tightly that his fingers went numb. The old starport grew larger as they approached, half-destroyed, silent, and filled with shadows that hid danger. But the most frightening part was not the ruins. It was the dozens of Yulf soldiers marching through them. Huge armored shapes walked between the broken metal towers, carrying heavy rifles that glowed with unstable energy. Their helmets were shaped like insect heads, and their armor plates clicked with each step. Drones flew overhead in tight swarms, shining red light over the sand. Milo's breath caught. "They're everywhere." "Stay calm," Racker said, gripping the hoverbike handles. "Fear will only feed the seed inside you." "Well, that's a problem," Milo muttered, Because I'm basically a walking fear machine. Racker boosted the engine. The hoverbike shot forward. The first Yelf squad spotted them instantly. Target detected, their mechanical translator shouted, "Hold on." Racker yelled. He leaned the bike sharply, dodging a wave of plasma fire. The ground exploded behind them, throwing sand and metal into the air. Milo ducked and screamed, "I don't want to die as an accidental treasure." Racker didn't answer, he was too focused. With his free hand, he pulled out a small sphere and threw it at the ground behind them. It burst into smoke that crackled with static. Confusing the drones, they zipped across the ruins, weaving between fallen ship engines and collapsed hangar walls. Milo spotted a tall metal archway glowing faintly in the distance. A strange symbol hovered above it like a floating flame. "What is that?" he whispered. "The Starforge Gate," Racker said. "Our only chance, the place where you can remove the seed." "Right?" "Yes, but we must survive long enough to enter." The hoverbike hit a broken landing pad and skidded to a stop. Racker leaped off. Milo tried to follow but tripped over his own foot. Falling on the sand, Racker grabbed him by the back of his jacket and hauled him upright. "Move!" Yelf soldiers surrounded the area, climbing atop ruined walkways and aiming down from every direction. Milo's voice shook. "They're pushing us toward the gate." "They want the seed," Racker said. "They will not let you escape." The soldiers closed in, rifles humming with power. One of them stepped forward, armor twice as thick as the others. Its voice cut through the air like broken metal. "Host of the seed, surrender. You will be dissected with minimal pain." Milo trembled so hard his knees almost buckled. "No thank you. No dissection today." Racker stepped in front of him, raising his plasma blade. "You will not touch him." The Yelf commander raised its weapon. "Then you will die first." The battle exploded in an instant. Racker charged forward like a living tank, blade cutting through armor, sparks flying everywhere. Yelf soldiers rushed from every angle. Plasma bolts flew across the air. Milo ducked behind a broken metal wall, hands shaking so much he could barely breathe. But then he felt it again, that strange warmth inside him. The seed, it pulsed faster and faster, like it wanted to help him. "No," Milo whispered, clutching his chest. "Not now. I don't want to use you. I don't even understand you." But the seed didn't care about what he wanted. A burst of light spread through his nerves. His vision sharpened. His heart steadied. His hands stopped shaking. Milo stood up. He didn't feel brave, but he felt controlled, balanced, like someone else was guiding his movements. He grabbed a fallen Yelf blaster and fired at the nearest soldier. The shot landed with perfect accuracy, knocking the soldier backward. Racker saw it out of the corner of his eye. "Human, stay behind me." "I'm trying." Milo shouted, firing again, but the soldiers kept coming. For every one that fell, 2 more arrived. Racker was strong, but even he was being pushed back. A heavy Yelf trooper swung its massive arm, smashing Racker into the side of a ruined engine. Sparks flew from his armor. "Racker!" Milo yelled. The alien groaned but stood again. "Inside the gate." He gasped, "Go!" Milo turned toward the Starforge Gate, an ancient arch covered in glowing runes. The energy inside it shimmered like liquid light, swirling gently. The seed inside Milo pulsed even stronger now, like it recognized the place. "Yes," Racker said, staggering forward. "It is calling to you." Milo swallowed hard. "If I step in, what happens?" "The seed will leave you. You will be normal again." A beam of plasma hit the ground beside them, exploding sand everywhere. Milo flinched. "And if I don't go inside?" Racker looked him straight in the eyes. "Then the Yelf will tear you apart." Milo stared at the glowing arch. His legs shook. His throat felt tight. He didn't want to lose the strange power that had saved him. But he didn't want to be hunted, either. He didn't want to destroy worlds. He didn't want to be a weapon. He took a shaking step toward the gate, then another. Behind him, Racker fought with everything he had. And above them, more Yulth ships descended through the clouds. Milo reached the arch, and the light swallowed him whole. Milo felt nothing but light. It wrapped around him like warm water, bright and soft, shining through every part of him. He didn't know where he was, or if he was still standing. The world outside the ruins, the soldiers. Racker's shouts faded into silence. Inside the light, something stirred. A shape. A pulse. A voice without sound. The seed. Milo felt it speak, not with words, but with emotion, fear, confusion, loneliness. It didn't understand why everything wanted to take it. It only knew that Milo had touched it without harm. It had hidden inside him because he felt safe. Milo spoke in a whisper, though he wasn't sure if he had a mouth in this place. It's time to let go. The warm pulse shook, like a scared child clinging to a parent. I know, Milo said softly. But if you stay, people will die. I'm not strong enough to carry you. Not forever. The pulse dimmed, slowly accepting his words. Milo felt something break away from him, like a deep breath leaving his chest. The warmth slipped from inside him, floating upward, rising like a glowing ember. Then the light cracked around him, and the world came back all at once. Milo fell forward, landing on his hands and knees on cold stone. His chest heaved, and sweat covered his face. The glow from the arch faded behind him. The Starforge gate stood tall, pulsing gently as if swallowing the last of the seed's essence. He felt empty, not weak, just normal. Human again. When he looked up, Racker was still fighting. The giant alien, battered and bruised, swung his plasma blade in wide arcs, keeping the Yulth soldiers back. But he was slowing. His armor smoked. His breathing was ragged. Racker! Milo shouted. Racker turned his head for one moment, and that moment was enough for a Yulth trooper to hit him with a heavy blast. The alien was thrown backwards, crashing against a broken support beam. Milo's heart jumped. He stumbled to his feet. No! Leave him alone! Yulth soldiers began to advance toward Racker, but then something changed. The gate behind Milo glowed brighter one last time. A shockwave of light pulsed outward, pushing the soldiers back. Their scanners screamed in alarm. The seed is gone, their translators repeated. The host is empty. Retreat. One by one, the soldiers stopped fighting. Their weapons lowered. They looked around with sudden confusion. Without the treasure's energy to guide them, they were no longer interested. Their orders were clear: retrieve the seed, not waste troops. A horn-like alarm echoed across the starport. The Yulth ships activated retreat protocols and began lifting off. Soldiers rushed back to the landing zones. Drones flew upward in tight formation, abandoning the battle. Within minutes, the ruins grew quiet again. Milo stood shaking, his chest still burning from where the seed had left him. But all he cared about was the huge alien lying against the beam. He ran to Racker. Hey, don't you die on me. Come on, you're too scary to die. Racker opened one eye. Human, you are loud. Milo let out a shaky laugh of relief. Good, if you can insult me, you're fine. Racker tried to sit up. Milo grabbed his arm and helped pull him to his feet. The alien winced but managed to stay standing. You survived, Racker said. So did you, Milo replied. Barely. Racker stared at the glowing arch, now dim and silent. The seed is gone? Yeah, Milo whispered. It's inside the gate now, locked away forever. Silence settled between them for a moment. The wind brushed dust across the ruins. The Yulth ships were already tiny dots in the sky. Then Racker spoke again, his voice low. You made a difficult choice, human. You gave up a power that could make you more than you are. Milo shrugged weakly. I didn't want power. I wanted to stop running. Racker studied him carefully. Most beings would cling to the seed, let it grow, use it. But you let it go. Well, yeah, Milo said, rubbing his neck. Some things shouldn't belong to one person. Especially not someone who trips over air. Racker let out a small rumbling sound, a laugh. Milo blinked. Wait, did you just laugh? Do not speak of it, Racker growled, though there was no real threat behind it. Racker placed a large hand on Milo's shoulder. Come, you have proven much today, and you have survived what few could. Milo raised an eyebrow. Does that mean you're not abandoning me on this moon? No, Racker said. You will come with me. A human who faced the Yulth and lived, you may be useful. Useful, Milo repeated with a smile. That's the nicest thing you've said to me, Racker nodded. We leave once my wounds stop hurting. Milo looked around at the empty starport, the broken towers, the glowing arch fading behind them. Despite everything, the fear, the danger, the seed, he felt something strange in his chest, relief, and maybe a little pride. Hey, Racker? Yes, human? Do I get a cool mercenary nickname now? Racker rested his hand on his sword and looked at him thoughtfully. Perhaps, he said, but first we must find a ship. Together, limping but alive, they walked toward the ruins. The galaxy had chased Milo for what he carried. But now, for the first time, he wasn't running.